There we go. Okay. All right. So we'll call the meeting to order. I like to look at Amy for wording.
And that we,
Oh, and we are recording. Sorry. Yeah, thank you. So we're recording and we have some wonderful eclipse glasses that Bonnie gave us. Awesome.
Great.
Very excited about that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
well, from economic development.
From
yes.
economic
And
development,
Economic
thank you. Protect your eyes. That'll be a really exciting event. I was hoping we had a citizen here. We could talk about citizen comments. Because I will be reading the citizen comments so we understand what the citizens can say and when they can say them. And that they would be around.
Okay.
That
Thank you.
person was here. I know we want citizens to be here and excited and we want to be very friendly to them, but we also want them to abide by our rules. So, I'm just gonna read it for posterity, for our sake,
And
and
then
then,
read it again if a citizen shows up, or is it a one and
I
done?
don't know.
It's,
I mean-
it's right here on what they signed, so they could read it also.
Maybe I'll just reiterate, please make sure you read through this before you sign it.
Okay.
But yes, this agenda item provides an opportunity for citizens to address the board or committee on any matter that is not posted on the agenda. Anyone wishing to address the board or committee should complete a citizen comments registration form and submit it to the board liaison or board chair prior to the start of the meeting. There is a 3-minute time limit for each citizen to speak with a reasonable limitation on speakers on one topic or item with a maximum of 15 total minutes on the same topic item. Anyone wishing to speak shall be courteous and cordial. The board or committee is not permitted to take action on any subject raised by a speaker during citizen comments. However, the chair may have the item placed on a future agenda item for action, refer to the item to the city administrator for further study or action, briefly state existing city policy, or provide a brief statement of factual information in response to the inquiry. So I thought that was helpful to hear and read and make sure we are all on the same page. It's hard for me to step in and tell somebody to stop talking, but
Pleasant.
it's unpleasant, yeah, but and I don't want
But I
to make
think
them feel
we have
bad,
to.
but yes, I'm gonna just
think
try
we
to
have
stick
to.
to.
Because that happened before when we had other guests and
Yeah.
Gail had to.
Stuff.
Step
Just
up
be
and.
like, just a reminder.
Right.
That's how you can do it friendly.
Right, yeah, just a
Just a
reminder.
Just a reminder.
Mhm. So,
Stop talking.
if anybody comes. So we'll move on to our agenda items. Consider approval of the February 21st meeting minutes and take appropriate action. Give you a minute to look through that and just let me know if you approve, disapprove.
I move that the minutes are accepted as presented.
Okay, all those in favor?
We got a second.
I'll
Oh,
second it.
second, sorry. And then all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Receive a committee status update. I think the only well, nothing really has changed other than that, they extended the deadline to accept applications to be on the board till May 1st. So if you have anybody that might be interested in applying to be on a board, is on May 1st now.
Is that what,
Same?
is that the application?
No,
Oh,
so
Well,
the
then I'm sure we'll get
application
to
is
that.
online, yeah. It's under
Okay.
Boards and Commission, under the City of Farmers Branch, and,
Somebody sent an email out about it. Kim, was it?
I thought attached
Or
it,
you did?
or I think I sent, I don't know,
Somebody had sent me an email, and maybe it was Kim, but if y'all didn't get it,
to,
about the extension of the deadline.
yes,
So-
I think I did. Yeah, it's May 1st, and, They will then decide, they will take all applications. I know we have several that pick boards and commissions, that picked arts and culture as their first choice. And then, all the applications will go to city council, they'll review them, make decisions, and I begin their term, some terms end June 30th, and then, the new term begins in August.
But that's all for, our committee status. Everything is the same in terms of having a member from Dallas College, a member from the CFIBDC.
And that's what I printed here. It says here, so special qualifications required. It's, and Natalie and I talked about this. Members consist of representatives of Brookhaven College School of Arts, the Carrollton, CFB ISD Department of Fine Arts, the Firehouse Theater, the business community, and a resident and or a local nonprofit focused on community art. So that is as part of our application. And so I just printed this so you guys, it tells you the required training, and then it kind of just says when our meetings are, and if people were interested, they can go ahead and fill out an application. It's just online.
Great. Anything else? Questions? Okay. Moving on to receive subcommittee updates and take appropriate action. So arts and public spaces. Bonnie and I talked this morning, and things are really very close to moving forward. So we're hoping that Foxy, the big orange box, will be paid for and sent within the next 2 weeks. Hopefully, fingers
Yes.
crossed. We're waiting on a PO and a little bit of, he needs to send an updated invoice and things like that. So that's exciting. And then the other two artists will get half of their money up front to pay for starting their build, and then once they finish, they'll get the other half. It said 6 to 8 weeks, I believe, for both sculptures. And then I think once we have that, then we'll maybe set up a date to do an unveiling or whatever we want to do, but
Yes.
we'll kind of put that on the agenda as that gets closer, I think.
Yes. And I think, and I'll talk about that under the West Side Art Trail
Yeah.
about, I have a couple of more details. Yes,
Okay, and then we have the wraps, the sign wraps, 2 of them, electrical box wraps.
traffic signal box.
Sorry, traffic signal box.
Yes.
wraps. We're waiting on the last Mustang Station designed one to be wrapped. It's been ordered though, right?
It has been ordered and it is completed. It's just being put on the calendar of the company that will be wrapping it, and it's going in at Tom Field in Valley View. Right by Hoya, so.
They look great, and I think Don, you reached out to the students.
I reached out to, actually, they're adults.
Oh, sorry.
And I did reach out to them to see if they would go and get a picture with their signal box. And so I'm waiting to hear back from them. I do have a meeting with Carlos this Friday, so I will reiterate that when I meet with him. And then I'll also show him is that?
I about made my wife crash the car when we were driving down. I can't remember the street. I saw the dog one. Oh, no, I just all of a sudden, I was so happy.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
Looks really, really.
I think the car behind me was probably gonna honk. I stopped at the one at Valley View and took a picture as I was in the car. So there's, I'm telling you, I'm sure, and of course,
Yeah.
then all the, like
Okay.
I was sitting there and I was taking a picture, and then I pull up, and then of course, all these cars, and I'm like,
Mhm.
sorry.
Yeah.
Maria sent me one too. She's like, look, I
This
just.
one is
Yeah, yeah.
at Valley View and,
Luna.
Luna.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, by the racetrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's so exciting then.
Mhm.
it is.
Yeah, they look
It's
really
very
good. I was
exciting.
surprised when I saw the one on Alpha and Midway.
Okay, yes, that's the one that
That's
I.
one of the dogs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It looks really good. And they did a good job of orienting.
Yeah, I thought they did.
So I think that's all we have. I mean, I'm hoping electrical boxes are in the future, more kind of contest like, or maybe even reaching out to certain artists might be interesting if we look through the database and said,
Mhm.
hey, do you want to design?
And I guess that's something we should, I guess, find out if we do have any more funding now that they are all paid for.
Yeah.
I think we could probably do another round. I'd like to see West Side Art Trail
Yeah.
kind of get at least to the point where we know, like,
If
it's
they're
really,
making it. Yeah, that's how I feel. I want to get that kind of,
but yes, I was told that let's, readdress it in during the summer, that,
Sounds
that would be
Yeah.
great.
yes.
Hopefully they'll
I
get
think
a lot
so.
of,
I already have my eye on a couple that I looked at that was really good, so.
oh, that'd be great. So I think that's all I have on arts and public spaces. Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah,
before-
I think that's good.
Okay. Artist outreach.
Well, we had our event
Very
and
excited
it
to hear about
was
it.
very exciting and it went really well. I thought, I don't have the sign up sheet.
It is on my desk. Not this desk. We had over 20 people in attendance,
Great.
which is great. It was low key, but I think it's what people. It seemed to go over well with people. There was, I need to go back through because the name will jump to me, but there was at least one person I talked to that was interested in the committee itself, and I kind of tried to explain some of that application process to her. We had a specific wall in our lobby that was blank, but had some signage on it, trying to let people know, like, we are seeking.
Your
in our
art here or
students.
something.
And, there was someone David had a conversation with that we need to do and follow up with. Them supposed to send us some stuff. But no, it looked like conversation was flowing. We had 2 different spaces people were mingling in, but yeah, it was a, low key, but fun little productive evening.
And Dawn and I met someone, that Juliet McCullough, that, was formerly an artist, and this is her little portfolio, well, little flyer thing about her portfolio, but she's also part of a dance group. So she was very interested. I can't remember where she said they rehearse, Plaza
I
Art.
think it's Plaza.
I think Plaza, right. So, we're gonna reach out to her and her group to join us for Branch Arts Live this year, which I think that'll be so fun. Because it's an older dance group and we
Mhm.
thought, oh, how interesting to show that. So,
To teach up for kids.
yes, she did. She was just such a nice lady and it was so neat to meet with her. Really, there were very few duplicate people from the prior event that
Okay.
we'd had. This was outside of Christopher McGuire. This is pretty much a new group of people that came to this event. That were just really interesting to connect with. I connected personally with quite a few people and have maintained contact and gone back and forth. So I thought it was a very productive evening. And what I heard from everybody, and I don't know about you, but everybody I talked to said they loved it and they'd love to do something maybe quarterly. Again, just really networking, getting
Yeah,
together.
I at one point sort of made an announcement. I was just like, because we were kind of in 2 different spaces.
Right.
And there was snack and drink in both spaces too, so when people, partake in all the goodies. But I just kind of like got up and said, hey, thank you for being here tonight. There is no more format to this than what's happening right now. Please enjoy yourselves, check out in the theater as well. There's other stuff. And so I think, if people came in with loftier expectations, I think they were set pretty quickly. When they walked in, they understood kind of what the format was or lack thereof. But it really did work as intended.
It was just a nice social networking for our local artists, and Owen kind of stationed himself in one area and I stationed myself in another, and David picked a third area and Don worked the whole space. And it really worked. So thank you all for all the support and for the goodies and the swag. And I think it was a very nice event. We were really excited. So we're looking forward to planning another one.
Good. Have you any pictures or?
That's what
I-
Bonnie asked, and I go, I didn't
No,
think to take
no,
pictures.
and I thought it was
To
really
show
into it.
the demographic age group that we are, because I probably wouldn't have thought of it either, but I've gotten that drilled in my head, like you have to take.
It did not even occur to me.
No,
I
not
got
serious.
so,
For an
I
effort.
really got
We
so,
set up the step and repeat for that reason.
yeah, and
Cause you're so.
I got a
focused.
picture in front of it with Caroline and that's it.
Did you get a picture of your group that posted it?
Yeah. No, nothing like that.
Well, any pictures.
totally thought of it later.
Send them to Bonnie.
I will. I just
Yeah.
can't believe it. I didn't even think about that, but really the conversation was fascinating. You know, it was so interesting to find that many artists that are passionate about arts right here in our little town. And it was just fun to connect with them and
Well, I think the focus was connecting with them, but you
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that they felt really welcome and.
I didn't even think about pictures.
Well, can you, one of you send a little wrap up that says 20 people in attendance?
Yes.
This is what we
Yeah.
wanted to accomplish, because
Yes.
I'd love to do a shout out on social media. We could try to get it into this month's Hello Farmers Branch, if not for sure next month's Hello Farmers Branch, just to say this happened, we did this, it was successful. And we
Maybe
would
just a
like to,
picture of the step and repeat, you know.
Yeah, or-
And I know Caroline and I stood in front of the step and repeat.
that any pictures you have, I think.
Yeah.
send.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that
I
would
know
be
they would love it for the boards and commission dinner. They were asking for pictures of boards and things like that. So
Okay.
any events y'all had, if you have group pictures or anything from that, I know they would love those.
Gosh, we need to remember to take pictures of us at
We always
stuff.
forget to as well.
I have a picture of you at Branchard's. There you go. Perfect.
John helped me get a few pictures. Yeah, I actually submitted that picture of you at with Ruby and Lola.
Oh, yeah.
So I did submit that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
That's funny. We don't think about these things. Okay, so that's on the list.
Yeah,
for next
pictures is
event.
number one.
Okay.
Before the event, the setup of the event, during the
Okay.
event.
I
Yeah.
did all that. I just not gonna include me in those.
Right.
Everything else, there you go.
I didn't even think about
Not
it.
to be a Debbie Downer about some of it, but I think it is, sorry, worth mentioning. It had been, we've been told, I can't remember who came, but at like 5 o'clock is when they're gonna come with the step routine and such. They did not arrive till 5:50. So some of the setup and the step and repeat in particular was really rushed to the end. It may have been easier to accomplish some of that like picture stuff if we hadn't been like
Much.
literally at the last second rushing to put it up.
Mhm.
Also, moving forward, if that equipment is gonna be used, it like has to be steamed, cause it's like super, so thankfully we were at the theater. I knew what a steamer was, so I literally spent the first 10 minutes of the event steaming it to make it look a little nicer. And so then we were kind of in full swing and took.
I think they did iron it before it came over, is what I was told. But I don't know,
I didn't.
because I wasn't
I
there.
think it needs, that may be true, but like it gets folded up, so just for it to look nice, I think
Yeah.
like. Whoever is in charge
Yeah,
of the facility needs to
get it
plan on
rolling.
having a steamer
Mhm.
with them for it, so
Okay,
just.
That might be good. Keep it
Let
on
us
the roll.
That's a really nice piece, though. I really like it for our events,
Right.
because it's got, you know, the logo and the, anyway. I
Needs
think it's-
slightly more care than was given them, I think.
Okay.
Okay, well, yeah, if you're
Very satisfied.
doing that and find a way to reach out to more new people. I'm curious if any of the older, people, not older, but the people who came for the first event. Like what do you think they just thought it was a repeat of what we?
I don't know, possibly. And the other interesting thing was, you know, there were quite a few people that had reached out to you and I reached out to them personally and none of them came. I don't know if the time was bad. I think we were earlier than we had been before,
Mm.
right? I think the other
It
event
was
was like 7.
yeah.
So maybe 6 is way too early. I don't know. I mean, there's probably, we can probably do a little reaching out to people. But the interesting thing is both times people said, we love this, we want to do it again.
Yeah,
And I think I'm trying to reiterate because, you know, we've had people reach out to you, to me, basically asking, what can the city do for me? And I'm saying, well, what we're trying to do is what can we do for each other? That's really more the message that we're trying to get out there. And doing these little, even a small thing like we had is probably more effective for that. If we do little
yeah. 'cause then
little
you might
events
get a
on a regular basis
one of-
and get into people's heads, this is not about you getting a big city contract. This is about you reaching out to other artists within your community to do projects and things. Getting some synergy going.
Yeah.
On. That's made me think of something, and this is not entirely kind of sort of on topic, I guess. But I wonder if we would see success out of, it's when you said city contract, is what made me think that. When we've had these calls for larger pieces of art, such as the stuff for the West Side Art Trail, and I know sometimes that too, we've had to keep the submission open longer because we haven't like just come through it, not enough has come through.
Mm.
If it would be worth ever to actually center, not an event, but even like a. Because again, that did seem the first time you've had this was that's what people were showing up for and wanted, and we didn't really run into that this time. But if there was a forum, time and
something-
place for that, hey, we are doing this. Also, there's gonna be an hour and a half where we're posted up at this location to come,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well,
Because
you
that
have-
is what, yeah, I
You
don't know.
have the Brand Search Live coming up, so you were able to connect with.
Yeah, we got a new person for it, or a new group. so
Yeah, I mean.
That was really positive.
Mhm.
And Carlos came and he had just, won.
Yep.
The thing and has the wrap on the traffic. signal.
Traffic signal.
Traffic signal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was there at the event, so that was really
Yeah, I
good.
think it was hard for the CFB teachers because we had something like,
Right,
and then I literally just sent something out to them, I think on Monday, because time I got it from you, and then I was out of town. 'Cause
right,
I went straight to Columbus, but
right.
I sent it out Monday. They had something Tuesday, and so
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
So if it
But-
wasn't butt up against that, we might have had it.
Now that you have everything, it might be easier just to know.
Oh, I think so too. I think it's no big deal to put
Mhm.
together something. And I'm okay with the smaller ones though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like our last one that was so large was great, but we could only interact really with the people that were at our table.
Yeah.
And this format where we could walk around the firehouse and mix and mingle and change groups and, that was really interesting, I thought. And,
But it probably
Yeah.
would help if like, Owen, you said, you talked and, but to give them some direction, like
Mhm.
as to what the event is for, and you'd have to do it obviously several times because.
If it's gonna go, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
come and go, but for them to really dig into why am I here? What am
What's
I
their takeaway?
Right, because otherwise you show up and you're walking around with strangers and
Mhm.
there's, why am I here? What is, that kind of thing, to be able to have that moment of, well, we welcome you and, we hope that you can get from this evening.
Connection.
well, I mean, that was the story I was telling again and again. as I
Oh, that's
interacted
nice.
with others.
Yeah. Great. Exciting.
Fantastic.
Thanks for doing all that.
Yeah, if you guys can just send numbers and a couple of whatever pictures you have, we'd love to get it on social media and hopefully get it in the newsletter. That'd be great.
And that'll help for the next one.
Yes, absolutely.
Grant making and funding, so David's not here, but, Bonnie and I were talking about the 501(c)(3), which I think we already kind of knew this, but the committee can't have a 501(c)(3). It would have to be a separate entity that would be in support of the Arts and Culture Committee or in support of the arts in the city. So, that was just good information to
Yes,
get solid answer to, so he doesn't have to keep fighting it, but figuring out
yes.
how to get one or do that, so,
And how it's worded in the staff report, when you look at the agenda, behind it are the staff reports and it says exactly what the city secretary I was told about on email, so.
any questions about that? As far as funding though, I think, we can keep having him like ask about the traffic signal boxes.
Yes.
We can get more funding for that, and
Yes,
if West Side Art Trail, once those sculptures go up and everybody raves about them and gets super excited, then maybe we can start asking about getting more.
yes,
So I feel like things are happening, but we need to kind of wait for one foot to go down. take the next step.
Question on that, because I think I remember David saying something to the effect of the city obviously has a way in place to take donations. So if somebody wanted to donate to this committee, they would contact the city, and then is there a way it could be earmarked, or it would just go into general?
And it's-
I mean, this hasn't come up yet. I'm not saying somebody has 100,000 they would like to give to our committee.
And find out specifically, I know in other ways it is earmarked, but then sometimes it goes to general, but with this being said, I can find out. I don't wanna
Well,
say one
You
way or
know, I
the
was
other.
just
and be
kind of
totally-
pondering, because I didn't know if that would be a way. So say somebody really likes the traffic signal routes, and they're like,
They
well,
want
I would like to sponsor.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. That's what I was thinking. I would like to sponsor one of those.
We were just talking about that with Dallas College, like if we're gonna do fundraising, people wanna raise money for a specific
Mhm.
thing. As
Right.
opposed to just give it to
Mhm.
Dallas College and we'll spend it when we want to, but yeah, if we could earmark, like even your Brain Starts Live, you might say, hey, if you really like this, if you wanna donate some money so we can keep it going and expand on it, you know, maybe have a quick QR code where it can go directly to.
Yeah, I was
That
just
should be
wondering if,
awesome.
exactly, sponsorship
Right.
might be a way for us to accomplish some things, and then we would go specifically to potential donors.
I mean, I know with each division, I'm thinking like historical park, the best way to, we have, like in our budget, we have donation lines where if someone donates, we know it goes strictly, for that budget line. We also have a friends group that's a 501c3, so that's where we do donations with that. That group, since it's a separate entity, then we apply for funding through them. We'll do like grant funding and request things, and then they'll pay for stuff at the historical park. So and I need to find out on the budget wise, if there's the donation line, but I think with sponsorships and everything, I'm gonna do it all the time. If a corporation, an individual, a business, whatever wants to sponsor something, and those funds go to that specific, but let me find out 100%.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
they
just
can
thinking, 'cause it-
advertise it.
Because it can't be outrageous, right? It can't be an outrageous amount of money, and we could simply go to a local business and say, hey, we're doing this great project. Would you like to sponsor one of
Have
these?
you noticed these wraps?
Yeah, I
Well-
think we might get some.
And remember the number that I said in Boise when we
Oh,
went
yeah.
to, how many over
Yeah.
200
Yeah.
are wrapped in that city?
I kind of think some local businesses might enjoy buying into that
Yeah.
and being a part of that process, so.
I don't think the price is outrageous. I think it's.
No, yeah, it's an easy, and if they get their little names.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Great.
That'd be a great idea. Any other comments on grant making funding? Okay. Festivals and contests.
All right, well, we had the Texas Big Arts Day, where the painted rocks were installed at the historical park. 2 sections over there, and then right following that, you had make
Paint a
and
rock,
take,
yeah.
paint your own rock, or take and leave, and the whole thing. And we also have here at the library is the art show from our Farmers Branch schools, and then we just closed the one that was at the hospital in Carrollton. So that one is done. And then Branch Arts Live, we talked about getting a date on the calendar. I know I plan to go this Saturday to the Gateway to the Globe to check that out, to see, what they have there. And then from there, maybe we can talk about how maybe that could be a collaborative effort. I did notice on the newsletter that it said first annual, and I was under the assumption when it first was being pushed out that it was like kind of a one and done kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to see, what that looks like and how we think maybe that could work together. But it's gonna take a lot of discussion, because it would be from changing dates, then what's it called, all the who's in charge, what's happening. So there's a lot of things that would have to be discussed on that regards if we plan to do any kind of merger of those 2 events, so kind of thing. But it's kind of where we're at with that.
Sunday, October 20th is being held
Right.
on our calendar for Branch Arts Live, so that has been earmarked for you. I haven't gotten with Jeff yet because he's in the middle of doing, the event this weekend, but we could talk about that. Rachel did reach out to me and said you reached out to her regarding
Yes.
a flyer, and I said, go ahead and work with Dawn, no problem. And I think she will do her magic on that.
And she is very magical, so
Mhm.
she is so great, so. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with all that, and then I guess we will see if we get any more funding for signal boxes or electrical boxes to see if we can move forward with another contest in the future.
Think that's good.
Great.
But timing is everything with that, I think, because I think last time we
Yeah.
had a summer deadline, which is definitely hard for students of both of our campuses.
Yeah.
When's a better time during the year?
During the school year. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and
So,
it
like-
probably can be, it can't be at the very, very beginning because they need time to create the artwork, and it can't be at the very, very end. But probably the
Kind of now. April, mid-April.
Yeah.
To have a due date, you know,
Okay.
or in,
or
you know,
fall.
yes.
right,
they-
mid-up.
But yeah, during the summer, it's just hard. Once they leave, it's gone.
So are these things that when we're doing our plan of work for the following year, we can put, in a perfect world, this is what we would like to have
Yeah,
happen?
you could be more detailed and put actual, time frame like fall or
I
spring.
didn't know if that might help city council kind of have an overview.
Yeah, yeah.
If
Well,
we're
and I-
really specific about some things like.
Mhm.
And I think that when we do revise our plan of work for 2025, that could be definitely added to that, because I think that could be an ongoing process of,
Yeah.
wrapping boxes. The beautiful thing is that, the Mustang Station Arts and Culture, the branding, we're putting the one across from Hoya there. That could be a fill-in too for several, but like if we're in the middle of an art contest and we were able to get a little bit of funding to do a second one of those, that also can be, have artists, their work wrapped as well as some branding ones wrapped.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Within the arts and culture district.
Right.
Yep. That's good. Can I add something to, under subcommittees? Another question that was asked, and I did give you a separate handout here, what Owen was referring to. So a subcommittee, and I'm not sure who asked it. I want to say Amy, but don't hold me to it. That, can a Farmers Branch resident serve on a subcommittee? So like Dawn and Amy, if you need extra help with your Branch Arts Live, or Owen and Amy, if you needed help, can a resident serve on a subcommittee to help with a project and or event? A volunteer release form, I attached it, so yes, the answer is yes. A Farmers Branch resident can serve on one of your subcommittees and help you with a particular event. They would fill out this volunteer form and submit it to myself. And a background check will be conducted, and the volunteer must be cleared and approved for volunteering. So that's an extra set of hands, and you met people who are interested in, arts and culture and the community. So that's a great way to get more people involved that maybe aren't on the committee or can't serve on a committee, but can help with it.
And maybe are interested in a time-specific
Yes, I
project as
agree.
opposed to a year-round
Yep.
commitment.
So I wanted to
Great.
say yes. And yep. I wanted to add that.
Anything else for subcommittees? Okay, receive a West Side Trail art trail update, which kind of
Yeah.
had, but Bonnie had more.
Yes, and what did I want to add to that? So we're establishing the POs, 6 to 8 week lead time. We're hoping to get Foxy within the next week or two. It will be stored until the other two are fabricated, but we will take lots of pictures. Hillier and I will, be with the, parks crew when the delivery happens to do a second condition report. We did get one from the artist, which is great, but we want to get one after, it's been transported and delivery. And we will do a conditions report and take pictures. And I think it's kind of fun to show the progress, on social media, on our website, like, hey, it's happening. It really is, to get people excited about it. And then once the art piece is all three, or, once, I guess once all three, then we can move forward to see location, the concrete pad, which Dawn, was working with the artist separately on, and how big and tall and that sort of thing. So, I guess that's what I was gonna add. Then we can,
Great.
move forward with that.
And maybe, for next month, we can start thinking about more event for the opening of the pieces.
Absolutely. Do you want me to keep that as a separate line item then, as
Yeah,
we
the art-
continue?
I think so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And I am in contact with Jeffy, Brandon, and Steve on a regular basis. Like Jeffy's like, he called this afternoon. He's like, okay, it's my weekly call, because he's doing work in Allen, and I'm like, I'm almost there. We thought we had it yesterday, but we need another day. There's a couple of fine details that we're working out, but I said, he's like, he was gonna be in the area next week, so that's why we're really trying to make that happen. But it's Easter weekend too,
Yeah.
and people are off, so if not, I'm feeling really good about the first week in April,
Yeah.
so.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, discuss marketing and promotion of the Arts and Culture Committee and its projects and take appropriate action. I guess that's just kind of about photographing events.
Back to
Talking us up.
take pictures.
Take pictures.
Set an alarm on your phone and say.
I think I need to do that.
Yeah, trying to talk us
Text
up.
each other.
Text
Take
each
a
other,
picture.
That's doing someone, that's their role tonight.
Yeah.
Well, what we probably should do is find someone on the database that put photography
Oh,
down
right, yeah.
and ask them to
Yeah,
come to our events.
That's a great idea.
And then we can say, photographs by local photographer,
Yep.
so-and-so.
That's great.
I'm gonna put that down on my list.
Muldoon, there's,
Oh, okay.
what's her name? Her first time, she came to the first arts, first interchange, artist exchange.
Another marketing or to like shout out to arts and culture is we did get the Google map on the
Oh, yeah.
website, so it is embedded there, and it is interactive. It has 3 different pins, different colors that will show the sign toppers, the art that's in the city. When you click on it, the art pops up and it tells what we know about it. And then the electrical / traffic signal boxes. So, and it shows a picture of it. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
If people are interested in that.
I think that's great,
Love that.
really helpful.
And we did a shout out on social media with pictures regarding Texas Big Art Day. And we got a lot of likes, and also people shared it. So that was good. We added the traffic signal box information into Hello Farmers Branch. And once we do get the artist, I'm okay with like, hey, we got them installed next month. Here's the artist, that
Mhm.
we can do another month, if we miss the deadline on that. And we'll begin advertising Branch Arts Live once the wheels are in motion and we confirm dates. I'll get you a rental agreement out like we did last year. Artist Exchange, if you can give just a short summary that we could put with a couple of pictures, great. And I did receive a submission for Branch Arts Live from Owen for Firehouse Musical. And I sent that on to Rachel. Don Hodges, I'm just gonna sneak, this is You're gonna be for April with a short bio. And yeah, so, but I don't I wanted to come out and you see it, so. Yeah, it's exciting. So remember, if you want to feature anything or, like. Use that form that I gave you and I'm all about it. So we'll get it in. And yeah, do you want to add anything to that one?
That
No?
sounded great.
So that kind of goes in with the content for the arts and culture newsletter. I know we kind of are picking artists that we want to represent. So Don's this month, so
Yes.
Carlos is the April.
No,
Carlos.
Carlos is this month. So this is what has been.
March.
Oh, no,
Carlos is
yes.
Yes.
Carlos.
Carlos is
March.
now.
Yeah.
now, right? okay.
Dawn is April.
Dawn is April.
Dawn is
David Moore
April.
is May, David Newman is June.
Okay,
And Natalie, you'll do David Newman.
so I,
You'll get-
I have his stuff for that, but I was wondering if we wanted to like assign a secondary thing that also goes in there and like just each person picks thing for that month. So like for April, if we want to pick a sculpture or a thing,
I love that.
painting or a mural,
A spotlight
a
on
spotlight on a thing.
a work that we own already.
Uh-huh.
Or,
And then we pick as a group, like, I'll do we already did the Mustang Station sculpture, but find some other sculpture and I'll do that one for June, since I'm doing David Newman for June or whatever. If you want to do something like that to kind of make sure we had at least two elements besides promotions.
I think
I-
that sounds
I
like a
love
great
that.
idea.
I mean, because then we're kind of committed. Otherwise, it's like, oh, somebody will do it. If I don't have a deadline, it's not gonna get done.
well,
So for me, I need that like accountability.
and
Um,
I always send reminders and I hope I'm not too obnoxious, but
It's great, but
Like
it's like,
second
did she
reminder.
send that to me? Was I supposed to
No.
do something? Sometimes I forget, so, but I think it'd be helpful if we had another. So April maybe could be the electrical ball or traffic signal.
and don't forget social media also, like I'll shout out on social
Yeah.
media. Now that we're really starting to get some traction on our things, so I'd love to like, did you know, Artist Exchange happened last week or come out on Wednesday night or whatever,
Right.
like I'm, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's-
I'll
I mean-
focus on getting the people pictured
With the,
with their boxes
Mhm.
and get that to you.
so maybe that could be for April. And I know, and you're probably doing Firehouse, which is great. I think adding that is an easy element that we'll definitely keep doing.
For sure.
But yeah, if there's other sculptures around.
Mhm. Highlight.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see, what exactly they use and what's useful, just as that will help me in the future know. Cause I could have, whatever I sent you, I could have sent something 5 times as long.
Right.
So that'll be good to know.
Well, I like what you
What
said
works.
and we'll see. Well, it's I submitted it,
Cause I guess, is Rachel the final on how everything, the layout and what all will fit?
and then she sends it to us and we kind of look through it and see, and we tweak it a little bit, and then she usually sends it out on the last day of the month or the
Mhm.
first day of the next month. So we'll see.
And when y'all were saying spotlights on artists and like the artwork that's around the city of Farmers Branch. Didn't, when we just did the Witness to History for Francis Glancy, didn't they talk about the sculpture that's at the Branch Connection?
Mhm.
That's one that's already written up, that might be,
Didn't we do that?
has that already been spotlighted?
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember talking about it, but maybe that was something,
I just remember it was in the council packet, 'cause
Yeah.
when we submitted everything.
but
Trying to
yeah,
be some that
something
have
like
already been
that.
done that might didn't get out there to the public, was only at,
Oh,
certain
right.
things where if there's a month that
I
maybe they.
don't remember it being a part of it.
Okay, then maybe not. Yeah, just saw it because they were asking about the patina on it.
I remember them talking about that and
Yeah.
the rub it.
Yeah. So yeah, you can think of a thing you're interested in.
Yes, just remember that the 15th is really a really good deadline.
Yeah.
So like. I talked to Rachel. Rachel will get anything in at the last minute within reason,
Mhm.
but it's very stressful and it's like, I hope it gets in and I want to be able to say, yes, we're definitely gonna get this in and I submitted it. So the earlier the better.
So I have to the 15th of April to get those pictures from those.
I would love that because then, hey, and if you need a few more days, it's okay, but I wanna say this is really the deadline.
Yeah.
And if you say, I can get it on the 17th, I think we can work with that
Now I
and
can get
reach-
Carlos's, cause I'll be like.
Yeah.
Please go do that.
there's one that's real high traffic though, so be careful when you're standing out there.
Yeah, the one,
Yes.
that's one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Or
Um,
one of the girls that works at the historical park, Lydia, she took pictures for me and she's like, yeah, there's a lot of traffic. I'm like, ooh, well, thank you for doing that, but be careful.
Yeah. I could even do like the windmill at Brookhaven. There's a sculpture in the front of the building, from the campus.
Well, do we have an action? Can we do action on that? Like, do you guys want to vote on something for to put, I guess it would go in now in May or
Yeah, so, well, I was thinking June to
June.
do David Newman, so I'll do June.
okay, June. Is that the first
And
month you want to
David
start
Norris
that?
may
Well,
know
no.
or anything. Well, we can do
No, I
the
was gonna do the traffic
signals.
signal.
Oh, yes, I,
April.
And then
Okay.
if we wanna attach anything with David,
I mean, yeah, I'll just send for the theater, I guess, yeah, I mean, that would be. The news by then for us, I'll just make sure I'm submitting that through that form again.
and do we
That or-
want a piece of art?
And then a
with
piece
it?
of artwork with it.
Say has the mural been spotlighted?
Yeah.
Yes.
What,
Yes.
what about, the art that's from the shows that's in the lobby on the way to the theater space,
Yeah,
that wall?
yeah. That would
Isn't that Mark
be-
Molyneux art?
Yes,
There's that on one wall, but then there's also all the photography from, Jason Anderson from Pendleton Studio.
Can you just do one of those walls and that's,
Yeah.
'cause that's interesting and different.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Not
And not
sculpture.
everyone-
And that ties
And not
in
everyone
with
sees
David
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and the theater.
Yeah,
That'd
Look
be
at me
great.
giving other
Yeah.
people work.
I love it. Good job.
the,
Yeah, either of those walls would be great,
yeah,
or both. I
Yeah.
don't- Save one for later.
right.
We might need one later.
no,
Pick a wall.
I like that. That's cool.
That'll be interesting. A lot of people probably don't know that you've got all that art
Mhm.
inside the building. And it might make them, I don't know, maybe come a little early and hang out in the lobby a little bit.
People Moving through the building one night, there's art here, there's art.
Yeah, that's my point. They
Yes.
might plan to come a little bit early to the theater and hey, there's some cool art that you get to look at before you go into the show. Love
Can
it.
we meet in July?
So we need to
Yeah.
So
prep that
we gotta think ahead, just
for July.
saying.
Yeah, July also, maybe next month if Dawn
Yeah.
and David,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or when Dawn and
Is
David,
there a piece of art out at Liberty Plaza
a few sculptures.
that's patriotic that could be done for
Yeah,
July?
look at you.
There's not a big tall flame.
Are there poppies out there?
There's the sculpture of Poppy, the
Oh.
veteran that's sitting there and
I love that. Let's do that.
Be great.
Is it something you want to vote on or is it something you want to? No, I don't think so.
just decide and do.
Yeah,
All right, does somebody want to take that on, the poppy sculpture?
I mean, clearly I'm great at taking pictures.
Amy?
I mean, so then we also probably need an artist that could tie in.
Oh, yeah.
Has she been featured?
Yeah, we did Amy, right?
Yeah, you've already done me. I'm old news.
I think, yeah, there's Owen
Oh, Ellen, yeah.
to feature Owen.
Want to do
Oh,
July?
would you like to do that? Would you like to be featured?
let's go.
Please do something patriotic between now and then. Tie into my theme.
So we have June is David Newman, so July will add Owen.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's kind of patriotic.
with Amy doing.
And
Okay, booked it.
he just did a headshot here and then he just did a small like that.
Okay, where did you
And then,
Everything.
Okay.
Where did
And
that
it-
come from? Because I was like,
Well-
are you supposed to add all that stuff? Because I didn't.
No.
no,
Okay,
and then
so-
this is, did you see this one? This is, okay.
This is like
Okay.
A+ work.
So now here's the deal. Carrollton newspaper reached out to me and wanted to do an article. So then I filled it out. Those were all the questions from them. I filled it out. So when I was featured for this, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna use this. And so
And she
when,
gave a couple of updates.
right, I gave some updates. And then when Paloma was featured, I just sent her what I had.
Mhm.
And I said, tweak this, and so same thing regardless. So that's, I gave them the template.
So there's a, there's
Yeah,
a
sorry.
template.
Oh, share it.
Okay, I can,
Yeah.
I mean, cause it just kind of, you know.
It's a nice
that would be-
little,
Yeah.
like,
Template kind of gives you a little
You
variety.
could use it, not use it.
Yeah.
Well, I think a template is helpful though, because a lot of people, when they're asked to write
Yeah,
something
they're
about
like-
themselves, they
Mhm.
kind of shut down because it feels uncomfortable.
yeah.
Right, you're right, I could never talk about
Right.
myself, like, but those are the questions I had to
Yeah,
answer for the
that's
newspaper, so.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I will send that template.
I think that'd be great. If you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Okay, so we've done our homework through July.
Feel good about that.
Mhm.
We good about the newsletter? Feel good? Feel good? All right. Public art furniture. So, that company Go Canvas, did you all see that? Did I share that website with you?
Let me see.
It's called what? Go.
Canvas, like I'm not connected. GOCANVUS.com. So they make public work from, wind turbine blades. Or public furniture, I should say, outdoor furniture.
Mhm.
So, can I show this? Is this legal?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And not that we need to use them, although I do like the idea of recycling those wind turbines. But they'll make benches, and they're expensive, but they're pretty durable. And then they have other ones that are these covered ones, which I think would be great for summer in Texas. Which is cool. It's like
Oh,
the
wow.
half of the, you're cutting the blade up. Can y'all see that?
Oh, yeah.
But I also was thinking like people, it's more palatable to pay for something that's functional than art.
Right.
That's how people
So
are.
is this going on the West Side Art Trail near the,
No, not necessarily. It was just somebody had brought it up and it was just something like, what if we
well, I think Don
propose-
had said it would be nice to have something near the, like
Sure.
Foxy and the other works that were going.
Well, this lady reached out to a couple of people within the city and, I talked to her personally.
Mhm.
I said we weren't quite there yet, but I would bring it to the attention of the board because I think it's something we'd be very interested in. And
That's
I
great.
thought she was lovely and she wants to set up a Zoom meeting whenever we're ready to do that. And I thought,
Should be the August.
Yeah, right. I mean, I just think that it's a nice segue into getting the city used to spending this kind of money and it being a real benefit for a lot of different reasons. So, yeah, having some seating by the West Side Art Trail, so you could look at the work and stare at the pond and, and then maybe we have another sculpture on the other side. And so I feel like that's a nice.
Doesn't look like something you could just buy at the hardware store.
Yeah, and it's not
Yeah.
something you're gonna see all the time or every day and, I
Well-
just think there's some nice
yeah,
elements.
and this is, Hillary found a map online of the West Side Art Trail. And if you see this yellow, I mean, there's a lot of the trail there.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of room for art.
Yeah.
So, and I know Don did mention it last month about, hey, now's the time to, when you're driving around, like you're like, wow, there's traffic signal, but look like, hey, that'd be a great place to put art and come up with ideas. Let's begin a list of where do you think art around the city would look best? And as funding comes and as we,
I think that would be great. So we'd be proactive and when if there's
We're ready.
money or the city has some money to spend and
We
they
already-
say, hey,
You're ready to go.
yes, we go, great, here's,
Here's what we want.
yeah, and it'd be great to kind of, itemize it too by price range. So, you know, when they come to us, we have X amount, great, here are our suggestions in that price range. I
Yeah.
love that.
I was even thinking it'd be great for that little park we want to do.
The pocket
Oh,
park.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
You know, there's just,
I love it.
I love it. I think it's really interesting. I see some potential there, and I'm sure there are other companies and other places that do some interesting furniture, public furniture, but
I think that's
I think
such a
this is really
neat thing though, to make, Farmers Branch a little bit unique and special, because we've got things that draw people into the city. Let's find things that then will keep them longer.
yeah.
Or stay the weekend, because there's so many things that you can do, that this is a great weekend stay. You can go to the theater, you can, you know, go to all the great restaurants, go see some art. You know, it'd be neat to stretch it where people are coming in for a long weekend.
So,
So do we want to, maybe next month, if we're not sure if Don will be here,
Yeah.
but maybe put it on the agenda that under, public art, that we can talk in more detail about it and maybe start a list.
yeah, they have prices on there, so if y'all wanna, at your leisure, look through their
Can
website.
you send the link to us?
And they like, I'd love to have a bench here, and what type you'd want, and you know,
Great.
you kind of see what things cost.
Absolutely. I like
And
that.
Don might have other companies that he.
Oh,
works
absolutely.
with that
Yeah.
might be a little.
It was just a starting point,
Yeah.
and to be honest, when I talked to her and then I looked at it, I'm like, wow, I really am, this is nice.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool.
Yeah. As I learn more and more about.
But yeah,
arts and
I think it'd
culture.
be something to keep on our radar. Sure. My goodness. Agenda items for next meeting, that's. Yes, the last thing.
So we've done all of our newsletter stuff, so that doesn't need to go back.
So we'll keep the subcommittee.
Yeah, I think so.
reports, Keep the West Side Art Trail, keep the committee status. I think everything is pretty much the same.
Yep,
I don't wanna remove anything. Maybe for the newsletter, we put underneath it featured artists, featured artwork. And then we
Yeah.
can more delineate, would that sound more,
Sure.
we don't forget,
yeah, it is.
you know? Right.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, I feel the same.
And this was also brought to my attention. So this is a wishing tree, and this is something more interactive art. Where people, you have a little box and people can write, their wishes. It says, write a wish for you or someone else. Place your wish in the box. Read another person's wish for it to come true. When wishes are made together, wishes can come true. All wishes will be hung on the tree. And, maybe the historical park, maybe we find another, whatever, in one of the parks. And it's just an interactive thing that maybe it's something, down the road that.
I love that.
Maybe you could do that at Hoya, and I mean, it's already bringing in so many
Yeah.
people, but if there's a cool tree around there.
Right?
Could be another little thing,
Mm-hmm. It's a great idea.
yeah, that's cool.
So it's just, yeah, it's something that maybe we could talk more about it
Yeah.
next month.
Let's do that. Anything else? Special. Do you want the Branch Arch Lab to be a separate thing, or is it? Are we ready for that, or?
We're gonna talk about it a lot next month, because we'll have gone to the event.
Global.
Yeah,
We'll have gone there. And then my goal is, once I see it, and we've talked about it, then to meet with them and see. I need to give them a little bit of time to like,
yeah,
be like, okay. But
Process.
then to really try to meet with them as soon as possible to see what that looks like moving forward.
Yeah.
So we could start to have a lot of discussion.
So do you want it separate or you want to still keep it under festival and contests?
I
and
think
then-
it can stay under
Yeah.
festivals. and
For now,
contests, and I can just report on whatever we learn.
Mhm.
So,
Sounds good.
That sounds great.
All right. Anybody wanna make a motion?
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Excellent. I say, let's do that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I
I
am terrible.
So that was impressive, 6:01 to 7:01.
Oh, look at that. I'll
We
mess
don't
around.
play on our
Yeah.
tails.
I mean,
We
that's
don't play.
Thank you for these
David Moore here.
classes.
We're still
I see
recording.
that's his face.
Yeah. The talkers at home.
You just take the
Speaking of, how's Robert? doing?